This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, just 7 men in practice, and just 1 week before the SEA Games, Gilas is running out of time and still waiting for reinforcements. Gilas Pilipinas big man Kai Sotto is staying patient while recovering from an ACL injury, and he gives his assessment on the young guns that will soon be his teammates on the national team. Tim Cohn sees a future star in Quentin Millora-Brown after another strong showing for Gilas and a possible top spot in next year's PBA Draft. A shocker in the PVL, Chery Tiggo is leaving the league, ending a memorable era and sending its star core into free agency. The UAAP Final Four is here. NU, UP, Salle, and UST set for a blockbuster doubleheader at the Big Dome. Who takes the first step to the finals? All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 2nd of December. Now, here's our roundup. With the SEA Games just 1 week away, Gilas Pilipinas continues to practice with only 7 players on the floor. The group consists of Jamie Malonzo, Robert Bolick, Abu Tratter, Von Pesomal, Matthew Wright, VJ Pre, and Thirdy Ravena, the only athletes currently available for full training. Coaching staff and SBP officials are still working to complete the final 12, but as of today, no additional players have been cleared to join practice. With scrimmages limited and rotations short, Gilas is running through sets with a skeleton unit, a race against time as the team prepares to defend its SEA Games title. 7 men in practice, 7 days before the SEA Games, and Gilas still waiting for reinforcements. The countdown continues. 7'3" Kai Sotto remains sidelined as he continues to recover from a knee injury, now nearly 10 months into his rehab. Kai says he's back to individual workouts, though his knee still requires careful swelling management. A sign his return needs patience and timing. Gilas Pilipinas swept its 2-game series against Guam, back-to-back wins to open the 2027 FIBA World Cup qualifiers, all without Kai Sotto in uniform. Still, Gilas coach Tim Cohn mentioned the importance of having Kai in the team now that the Nationals are revving up for the upcoming games against New Zealand and Australia. Kai also praised Gilas' new reinforcements, Juan Gomez de Leano, Quentin Millora-Brown, and Ronje Abarrientos, players he believes will make the Gilas program even stronger moving forward. And despite missing this window, Kai reaffirmed his full commitment, saying he'll be ready to help the moment he's cleared to return. Gilas got the job done against Guam, and with Kai Sotto staying locked in and laser-focused on his recovery, the national team knows a big piece is still on the way back. Gilas head coach Tim Cohn continues to sing praises to the silent but effective plays of Filipino-American big man Quentin Millora-Brown. Moments after the 95-71 victory of Gilas over Guam Monday night, Cohn mentioned the importance of having QMB in their upcoming 2027 FIBA Asia World Cup Asian qualifiers home games against New Zealand and Australia early next year. Against Guam, Millora-Brown showed his worth wearing the Gilas uniform as he helped the squad control the boards in back-to-back games. Monday night at the Ateneo Blue Eagle Gym, QMB scored 9 points and grabbed 9 rebounds, showing a glimpse of his potential. Millora-Brown is touted to be a potential top draftee in next year's PBA Rookie Draft, where Ginebra was able to acquire the first pick of perennial cellar dweller Terra Firma in a previous trade.
He's just scratching the surface of his ability to help us. I mean, we're still exploring his game. He's exploring his game within the system. There's a lot more levels for him to go, but the initial look is that, he's just what the doctor ordered. He's that weak side big man that can, he's a really strong defender. He battled Wesley really well, then went around and battled Galloway really well. And those guys are high-level players.
While a short ceremony was done to supposedly formalize the retirement of Japeth Aguilar as a longtime Gilas player, Coach Tim Cone said he won't hesitate to pluck his top slotman out of retirement should the need arise. Cone admits the Aguilars, particularly Japeth's wife Cassandra, kept on begging Cone to allow the 38-year-old Pampanga-born dribbler to focus on Ginebra in the PBA and their growing family. But Cone had other things in mind, specifically the needs of Gilas Pilipinas in the front line, something which the Aguilars were able to understand.
He knows that if we need him, he'll come back and help us out. But for now, he's ready to retire. He's going to be like Muhammad Ali, maybe. Come back, retire, come back, retire. Who knows?
The Chery Tiggo crossovers have announced their decision to leave the Philippine Volleyball League, marking the end of one of the most iconic runs in modern Philippine volleyball. Franchise owner and billionaire Romel Sitin thanked their supporters, saying their legacy isn't about trophies or just about trophies. It's about developing talent and repping the country like champions. The crossovers snatched their first ever pro title in 2021 in that legendary 5-set upset over Creamline. With their disbandment, expect a mad scramble for the team's resident star players like Aragalang, Abby Maraño, and Maylene Paat, plus rising names Ren Peñafiel, Jean Soreño, Erica Deloria, and Ryan Cañete, who are expected to hit free agency and shake up the league. Alex Ayala and Brian Bagunas will carry the flag for Team Philippines, leading the country into the December 9 SEA Games opening ceremony in Bangkok. Ayala, now the highest-ranked Filipina in WTA history, and Bagunas, who lifted Gilas Pilipinas to a historic win over Egypt, were chosen for their impact on the global stage. POC President Bambol Tolentino said the selection was about inspiration, motivation, and hard work that translates into results. The Philippines will send nearly 1,700 athletes across 50 sports with a 300-member marching contingent, likely reduced to 200 amid Thailand's year-long mourning and venue changes. Two of the country's brightest leading a contingent ready to chase gold in Bangkok. Sunbeta strikes first in the NCAA Season 101 semis as the Red Lions roared past the Benilde Blazers 91-72 at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. John T. Miller was unstoppable, dropping 29 points, 3 triples, 9 boards, while Brian Sahonia backed him up with 26 and 5 three-pointers of his own. Sunbeta led by just 3 after the first, but turned on the Jets in the second quarter, building a 48-37 halftime cushion. Their lead ballooned to 23 in the fourth as Sahonia kept firing from deep. Ian Torres had 18 for the Blazers, but Benilde couldn't keep up with Sunbeta's outside barrage. Meanwhile, in the other semi-final, the Letran Knights took Game 1 against Perpetual, 77-73, after surviving a late fourth-quarter push by the Altas. Rookie Titing Manalili led the charge with 15 points, 8 assists, 6 steals, and 5 rebounds. Jimboy Estrada added 15, including 3 triples, and sealed the win with clutch free throws. Perpetual cut the deficit to 4 in the final minute, but Letran's defense forced a costly turnover that shut the door on the Altas. Letran and Sunbeta now 1 win away from the NCAA Finals. A super fight is brewing in women's combat sports with Katie Taylor and Ronda Rousey now in active negotiations for a mega bout in Las Vegas. Rousey, the former UFC bantamweight champion, has been seen training in recent months, sparking talk of a return 8 years after her last fight. Taylor, a 2-time undisputed boxing champion and an Olympic gold medalist, is nearing the final chapter of a legendary career, coming off a massive Netflix headliner that drew 6 million streams. And while Rousey built her legacy with arm bars, she's long trained her boxing, setting up what could be one of the most intriguing crossover matchups ever. Negotiations are ongoing. Netflix is interested, and the target is a summer showdown in Las Vegas. If it happens, Taylor-Rousey could be the biggest women's fight of the year. He is one of the sharpest minds in Philippine esports, a voice that shaped the way we understand Mobile Legends strategy, from breaking down championship plays on the analyst desk to stepping into the arena as a coach. Kai Wolf Nopueto has seen the game from every angle. He brings that rare blend of insight, experience, and authority. Our sports correspondent, Sheila Salaysay, has the story.
Before the bright lights and packed arenas, Wolf saw esports in a small, crowded venue. But the energy was unstoppable. In that moment, he realized esports wasn't just competition. It was a community that brought people from different backgrounds.
I super love the question, by the way, because that's what I genuinely feel about it. And it's not about the game itself. Community talaga. So, I can pinpoint the exact moment that I can say na ganun. Kasi there was season 1, nagkaroon ng playoffs. And this is me parang 2, almost 3 years into casting na. So, I've experienced other casting, other titles. Then, pagdating ng Mobile Legends, online pa lang, malaki ni viewership. So, which is amazing. And then, it was held in Mo Musical, back when Mo Musical did not have air conditioning. So, it was very hot. It was raining. But everybody was just so hyped. And what made me fall in love is iba't ibang walks of life yun doon.
In the early days of MPL, analysis wasn't the heavyweight role it is now. But as the league sharpened, so did the expectations. Wolf saw it firsthand. What started as simple commentary quickly evolved into a mentally demanding craft. A shift marked the true beginning of a more intellectually driven era in esports.
It wasn't supposed to be that way, I think. But everybody's try hard na Try hard na lahat So, for example, season 1, we can get away with a lot of stuff na hindi pa masyadong ganun ka, quote-unquote, cerebral. But as the games progressed, even just season 2, in between season 1 and 2, may mga nakakapuna na, oy, dapat ganito yan because of this. Oy, mali yung sinasabi ng mga shoutcaster, ganyan. And then, during that moment, we thought, yung mga nauna sa mga shoutcaster, we're like, kailangan natin seryosohin to. Season 2, we saw a lot of growth na within us, mga casters, tas yung mga players as well. This Dexter, I cannot forget this. Dexter talked to me kasi nakita niya meron akong Excel sheet of stats. And then he said, uy, may ganyan ka rin kasi may ganun din daw siya. Which it blew our mind. Then afterwards, again, it's immeasurably cerebral.
As Mobile Legends and the MPL grew, so did its fandom. What began as simple cheering has evolved into a community that digs deep. For Wolf, the transformation says everything about today's audience.
Sa fandom, una na dun yung pagiging quote-unquote matalino nila. I hope that's not gonna, that's not a negative connotation. Pero basically, more analytic na sila. Like, to the point na I have like podcasts, tapos they will connect my podcast episode from episode 10, whatever, to whatever it's happening right now. Ganon sila kalalim. Ganon kalalim. They're gonna overanalyze it. Sometimes it gets too toxic because they overanalyze stuff. But I think, para sa akin, it's part of the day. If we wish na maging seryoso yung mga audience, and you have to take the negative with the positive, yung mga overly analytic, kailangan mo siya accept with the right amount of analysis. So yun, ang next day, sobrang invested nila sa storylines ng mga player. Grabe. They would follow a pro player tooth and nail mula sa una hanggang sa dulo, basta naging fan sila. And they will defend that with their life.
Across the world, esports fandom comes in many forms, but Filipino fans stand in a league of their own, bring something different, always driven by passion.
I guess the way that I can describe this is different shades of crazy. Yeah. Sa Indonesia, they would spend a lot. Here in the Philippines, they will, no matter what happens kapag tribe ka, nandun ka sa tribe nila, they will defend no matter what. Parang they will do at the utmost extreme just to defend yung tribe nila. Obviously, again, take the good with the bad. Passion talaga eh. They were there. That is the thing with the Philippines. Very passionate.
In a region where individual brilliance often takes center stage, the Filipino brand of esports stands apart. The instinct to lift one another. Players don't just chase greatness for themselves. They push each other to rise with them.
Individualistic is a word I'd use to describe other regions. So I think yung sa atin kasi parang mix siya ng competitiveness, na extreme amount of competitiveness with that, spirit of kapwa wherein pero parang gusto mo yung kapwa mo ay magaling din para sumabay sa'yo. So it's like, it's still very competitive. It's still like you're still thinking about yourself in a selfish manner, but at the same time, hindi pwede, you also understand na hindi pwedeng ikaw lang. Na kailangan, in order for you to be good, others will be good as well. The most important factor that we have in the Philippines is discipline. That's one. And there are different branches of discipline. One branch of discipline that we really excel is the discipline of endless improvement na hindi tayo satisfied sa ano. So you would do anything just to improve again.
For many fans, Mobile Legends became the great equalizer, a game anyone could enter, relate to, and instantly belong in. Esports could succeed on its own terms.
Everybody can relate. Sobrang easy to relate. And if you're starting, ang dali din makapasok. And it's easy to invite everyone here. At one thing that I realized recently is, at the start, gusto natin siyang i-compare with basketball or sports. And we even call it esports, di ba? But then the more that we dive deeper into this, the more we stay away from the conventions of sports.
As the landscape of MPL Philippines continues to shift, one thing remains constant: Wolf's ability to break down complexity and make the game clearer for fans, players, and the industry itself. His journey reflects the growth of esports in the country: dynamic, demanding, and always moving forward. For now, his story continues, and so does the game he helped elevate. Reporting for the Scorecard, Gilas Pilipinas, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Tonight, we take a closer look at Gilas Pilipinas and the growing challenges of completing its lineup just 1 week before the Southeast Asian Games tip-off in Thailand. Joining us to break it all down, respected basketball analyst Jay Mercado when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. We discussed the Gilas Pilipinas squad in the upcoming Southeast Asian Games that seems to be having some issues when it comes to completing its roster a week before the start of the biennial meet in Thailand. Joining us is respected basketball analyst and young historian Jay Mercado. Hello Jay, good evening to you and maraming salamat sa oras na ibibigay mo sa amin dito sa The Scorecard.
Anton, hi, good evening, and good evening to all the viewers of Scorecard. Yeah.
Sir Jay, before I get to the SEA Games and of course the question I want to ask you from a standpoint of who you think should fill up the roster, I want to ask you about your thoughts of the 2 games that Gilas played against Guam. How pleased were you with what the players of Coach Tim Cone showed?
I think we exerted enough effort to be able to pull off those routes now. We won by 20 points or more. There are a lot of improvements that have to be made. Obviously, we saw the potential of QMB being part of the regular rotation of Tim Cone, and that's not easy because when you have a Tim Cone handling the team, it's not easy for you to crack at least the first 5. No? So, masama lang siya sa rotation, big deal na yan. And because of the dearth of big men that we have, the quality big men that we have, with Kai Sotto being injured at this point in time, malaking bagay talaga si QMB as far as his inclusion to the team.
So there were 3 players in the last game that reached double digits. Of course, Justin Brownlee with 20, and of course, Dwight Ramos with 19, Chris Newsome with 10. Were there other players aside from those 3 and QMB that impressed you?
Well, Potentially, if you look at it, no, maganda yung ikot. Scotty Thompson played a great defense against Jericho Cruz in the first game. I think that's going to be very important. Consistent pa rin naman si Chris Newsom. He played backup minutes for Scotty. Obviously, Ron J. Barrientos will probably need a bit more honing. 2, 3, 4 minutes per game may not necessarily cut it for him, no? For him to be able to produce the right results that he normally can produce. But otherwise, I think it's really more of a team effort on Gilas' part. No? It will take a little bit more to face the Boomers and the All Blacks, no? In the coming window. What we want to see is that we can steal a win or two against New Zealand. Against Australia, it will be a little bit more difficult.
Well, hopefully we can continue to work towards that. But let's move over now to the SEA Games. 7 days to go. Only 7 players practicing for the team of Coach Norman Black. Is this a cause for concern, Jay?
Not too much. To be honest, this is a very common thing, even way back in the 70s, Anton. If you look at it, we lost the gold medal 3 times in the history of the game. That was in 79, 89, and 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Both the first 2 stages in 79 and 89, we lost specifically because of the home crowd and the hometown advantage that Jakarta, Indonesia, and Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia provided for us. Now, talagang very hostile conditions. In 2021, it was held in a neutral venue in Hanoi, in Vietnam. However, we lost to a Marcus Golden powered Indonesian team. And that was quite a surprise because ito yung team na all-pro na tayo dun eh. Pinag-bar na yan eh. But in terms of am I worried? Not so much because we're used to this. We normally prepare a ragtag team for the SEA Games and still end up producing well. In 1993, the SEA Games in Singapore, Coach Melencio, the late Coach Tembo Melencio, actually formed a team at least a week before lang.
Wow.
And he brought in 12 players who were not the best amateur players back then. So talagang talagang very ragtag talaga. We even had 2 former pros there, Ponchi de la Cruz and Harmon Cordillera. And yet, they were able to pull off the win and the gold medal in Singapore.
So Jay, who in your mind should be added to this team less than a week before the SEA Games?
Alam mo, kung wish list lang naman, we'd like to see siguro a Greg Slaughter there. Or maybe a QMB if kung pwede ma-convince si QMB to play for the SEA Games, no? But I think he is already committed otherwise, no? The way I see it, realistically, ang nakikita ko, there are 3 free agents or unrestricted free agents in the PBA that will be worthy of consideration. Since we're lacking bigs, we do not have a legitimate center in that lineup. The big men that we have are all power forwards, no? Abu Trapper and DJ Pre. Okay, so what we need would be big men who are capable of playing the center slot. So I'm looking at Justin Chua, Mike Miranda, and from Adamson, Cedric Manzano.
Wow,
Okay,
interesting.
so the reason for this is because Adamson has already been eliminated in the UAAP competitions. So the other big men, the quality big men in the UAAP are probably still playing in the Final Four. So we have to count them out already. But those are the 3 bigs that I see that may be considered by Coach Norman Black to at least shore up their center slot. The 4th person, we lack a point guard. There's one point guard I feel who's still available in unrestricted free agents in the PBA, and that's Terrence Romeo. If he's fit, he may be a good catch. The other one, this is part of the wish list lang na medyo pwedeng maging realistic, is Norman's own son, Aaron Black.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Ayan. For logical reasons lang naman, no?
Yeah. Well, Jay, thank you so much for your time and analysis, and it's exciting to see kung ilan yung mga players na nabanggit mo makakasama doon sa final SEA Games roster.
Regardless, importante, whoever the 4 players will be named, ang group lang naman natin, you win the group medal.
All right. Thank you so much, Jay, for the time and excellent analysis as always.
Thanks, Anton. See you around.
All right. Good evening. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. Tomorrow is the big day. The UAAP Season 88 Men's Basketball Final Four finally tips off, and we are in for a treat. The top two seeds, National University and defending champion UP Fighting Maroons, each carry twice the beat edges. NU takes on number 4 De La Salle, and UP faces number 3 UST. So, let's break it down here. NU owns the best defense in the league, holding teams to 66.9 points per game. They shrink the paint and force difficult shots. Steve Nash Enriquez spaces the floor, while Jake Figueroa is the Bulldogs' steady producer, averaging 14 points and 7 rebounds. NU also forces turnovers, and that constant pressure will test LaSalle's ball handling. Now over on the other side, LaSalle leans on size and rebounding. Mike Phillips has posted 15 points and 16 rebounds, while Jacob Cortez adds perimeter punch with 15 points on 45.5% shooting. DLSU feeds on second chance points, paint scoring, and capitalizing on NU's turnover issues. Expect a classic duel. NU's disciplined half-court defense against LaSalle's glass-crashing inside-outside attack. Now, let's go on over to the other thrilling matchup, the UP Fighting Maroons versus the UST Growling Tigers. UP thrives on pace and transition. Harold Alarcon and the Maroons' wings, they like to attack early, while Coach Goldwyn Monteverde uses small ball lineups to push tempo. Defensively, UP challenges shots and must control the boards to limit UST's second chances. UST, the top scoring team in the league, counters with firepower. Fortsky Padrigao and Nick Caballero fire from long range, while Collins Akoe dominates inside with 17.7 points and 15.2 rebounds per game. When Akoe and Jello Crisostomo get rolling, UST can overwhelm any defense. Now, defense remains UST's question mark, and UP will try to strike in transition. Matchup dynamics, NU versus DLSU is paint power versus perimeter poise. UP versus UST is offensive firepower versus transition speed. So watch fast break points for UP and points in the paint for UST and DLSU. The game will commence tomorrow at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. NU versus DLSU at 1:30 p.m., followed up by UP versus UST at 4:30 p.m. Will NU and UP advance to the finals, or will UST and DLSU force a decider for the final slot? We will find out tomorrow. Now let's take a look at what former NU Pep Squad coach Gica Bernabe had to say with their dominance in the cheer dance competition. 9 championships in the UAAP, an unwavering support from Nationalians, and they proved that nothing is impossible. And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow on the Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This is Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Good night.